Hi, everybody. Welcome to the last episode of season one for We Listen and We Judge.
Thank you for tuning in all season long. We have enjoyed our time just talking about different aspects of life and hanging out together and bonding a little bit and agreeing to disagree all year long. And thank you for tuning in.
So today we're going to talk about like best of 2025. I know everybody has like their Spotify Wrapped, their Apple Music Wrap. I saw that YouTube actually does a 2025 recap and it shows, what your best of was. For mine, it said I focused on self-care and personal care. So I thought that was pretty cool because I watch a lot of Pilates with Raven. I also been watching um Mike Gill, his workout videos. So I'll say best of 2025 YouTubers for me is Raven, Mike Gill, and then one of my favorite podcasts that I actually watch is Poor Minds with Lex and Drea. So they actually influenced me a little bit to start a podcast. That would be my favorite creators on YouTube in my best of 2025. Those three shows that I really like.
I have officially become an internet auntie. If I look back at my 2025, I've been following the career of Shador Sanders. Just that's a young man who gotten a lot of hate over the past year about his upbringing and coming into the league as a fifth round pick when he probably has a little bit better talent than that. And there's been a lot of back and forth about whether or not he should be an NFL quarterback. So I've been following the TikToks on Shador, and very proud to see that he's playing and doing well. And I'm not a big I'm sorry, I'm not a big football buff, but um, I know a little bit, and I do understand the game a little bit. So I've officially become an internet auntie in that respect, and also following little Miss Shirley, who's out there doing all the line dances. If you look at the things that I've been watching, I've been watching little Shirley dance on the internet. She's the cutest pie. Samaj, following his career as he's now gotten into acting. So when I think about all the things that I've looked at and I've listened to over 2025, I think I've officially made internet auntie status.
Well, sports wise, the best of 2025 for me, I've been keeping on with the Eagles ever since they won. It's been like a lot of drama about their offensive coordinator and the offense is not doing pretty well. I think it's hilarious. The Eagles fans are going in, even though they're coming off of a win, but they definitely are live on Twitter complaining about everything. But hey, some of their complaints are valid. And also, I always keep up with Kevin Durant. That's one of my favorite basketball players. So he's best of 2025 for me when it comes to men's basketball and women's. Been keeping up with Asia Wilson. She had an amazing year. The Las Vegas Aces won a title after being basically kind of not in the running during midseason and people thinking, somebody else was going to win, but it came back strong and won the whole thing. So for sports, those are my best of 2025 moments. And I'm trying to think, did I go to? I don't think I went to an NBA game this year, maybe, but I'm going to try to at least go to one next year and check it out and see what's going on. Might be going to a Magic game. So.
I will say I'm not necessarily a Cleveland Browns fan, but I am a fan of that young man, Shador Sanders, because I saw where when he first got to Cleveland, he went out and had a day with the youth. In one of the project areas, he had food and fun. They played football with them, just giving back to that community and immersing himself in that community. And that's when he wasn't even getting any reps or playing time. So I feel like him just being a good human. So I've been following the Browns and trying to watch them on Sundays just to see, what he's gonna do now that he's getting an opportunity to play. So that's where I've been with sports. I haven't watched a whole lot of basketball this year. Um, just local. I've been to a Meta Tigers or Spine County game, which is very good, but not a lot on TV.
mm. Oh, in college, I've been watching Jacksonville University because my friend's wife, she's the coach, and they're having a really good year. So shout out to them. I hope it continues in 2026. As far as TV shows, I've really liked Reasonable Doubt, of course. We talked about Reasonable Doubt. That was a great show. But one of them that I would say I watched that People are probably gonna be like, "Ooh, that's a little ratchet." It's Beauty in Black by Tyler Perry. Even it's like a soap opera. I think it's a really good plot line. Sometimes the writing is a little bit cringy, and then the guy that plays his brother, I think his name's Richard Sherman. He used to be Beyonce's stepdad when he was married to her mom. I get tired of him saying the same things over and over. Like, we get it. We we understand your wife died and somebody gotta pay, but you don't have to keep like we are almost what 2 seasons in and you still talking about that lady and trying to get revenge. And I guess him and the ex-wife had some type of relationship. So I don't know. It's just a bunch of drama, but it is funny. I will say. Kimmy, she came into her own. I was proud of her for stepping up. But that was one of the shows I really like. And then Forever, that was an amazing show from start to finish. It was an adaptation of Judy Blume's Forever, and Keisha and Justin had everybody in the chokehold. Just a cute, coming of age story. A little bit of drama, of course, with her being exposed, and then her and Justin breaking up at the end. But I have faith that they will get back together. I really liked that show. I think it was an amazing, and I can't wait to see more of it. So that was one of my best of 2025. And there's more shows that I like. Of course, Abbott Elementary and The Gilded Age. That's one of my favorites too. I think if you're not, yeah, you did. I think if you're not tuning into that show, you should. It's a period piece. It kind of follows like some of those really old time rich white people, but then it also shows affluent black people back in that time around the basically probably post reconstruction because the railroad is a big part of it. And the Russells are basically what we call new money. It follows those people that are old money, like they've had money since they basically come to America and built their wealth. But now we have the new money where he builds his wealth off of the railroads, and then his son Larry finds another way to get him out of the hole because a lot of people were trying to stop him. They saw it as a way to just basically take over, and they're like, no, you can't let these people get any wages that will make them be able to live. Basically, like all of the workers are destitute and they're working 7 days a week. This is the start of like, I guess, the model between Monday through Friday and labor unions. And so back then they were like really important to help people get uh work life balance and also to care about safety. Now that's a big thing in any type of manufacturing or construction job site, warehouse, distribution center. But back then it was just like a man lost a finger. Oh well, you shouldn't have lost your finger, or somebody died, you just replace them. Nowadays, if somebody dies, a lot of people have to answer to it. So I do appreciate the history behind that and the start of labor unions and how it really helped people become in a better healthier state. Actually, one book I thought about when watching that show is called The Jungle. We read it in school, and it was about children who were working in the meat packaging industry and how like people's hand would be cut off and then they just grind it into the meat. And a lot of times the people would be in very unsafe conditions. They'd have children like that's 11, 10 years old working there and just dying. It also talked about when somebody basically didn't want the workers to leave until they met the production and a fire started, and a lot of people died because they were burned up because he locked the doors. So that's just an old school book that we read in school. But I would say if you are interested in that backstory on the Golden Age, that's one book you might want to check out to read a little bit more about why labor unions started.
Mhm. My top five, I'm gonna do from five to one. I would say Abbott Elementary number five, which that's a good laugh.
Mm.
And we've encouraged you all season long to check that out if you hadn't already. Quentin Branson and her team, they do a really good job of acting, making us laugh. It's so believable sometimes. And sometimes
Mm.
it seems like it might be unbelievable to the point where it is believable, which
Yeah.
makes it so funny. Number four, I would say The Gilded Age. I really did enjoy that. I discovered that a couple of years ago, so I watched 2 seasons and 1, and I'm finally caught up to, with the seasons. So I love that one. Brandy just described that one. Um, this season, Felicia Rashad enters into the picture, and
Yeah,
she is a timeless actress and very good at any role she plays. She makes you love her when she's supposed to, and you really dislike her when she's supposed to.
yeah.
And in this show, I really disliked her,
All right.
but she is a great actress, um, and I've always admired her work. So The Gilded Age is one to check out. Number 3, I would say Reacher. My husband and I watched that on Prime. It's a very good series. It started as a movie. Jack Reacher was a movie, and I think Tom Cruise was the leading actor in that one. But now it's the series is on Prime, and it kind of mirrors what happened in the movie, but takes it a little bit further, more adventurous, more stories. So if you like the adventurous type drifter who always gets in the middle of something, solves the um, crime or solves the problem by the end of the season, then Reacher is a good one for you. I would say number 2, Paradise on Hulu. Just got into that. Oh my gosh,
Did
that
that
was
come out in 2025?
I don't
It
know.
seems so long ago, but yeah, Paradise is a good show. But I thought it was 2024, but I could be off.
2024. I don't
Yeah,
know when it came out. I think it
yeah.
did come out in 2025 actually though.
Okay.
But because it's coming back out in February of 2026, so very excited about that and waiting on that. And I like post um
Apocalyptic.
apocalyptic dramas. So
Mm-hmm.
I usually get into those and sci-fi type fiction. I'm not into conspiracy theories as you heard earlier, but I like to watch that type of fiction on stories or on movies. And my top one, of course, is Reasonable Doubt, which we dedicated a whole episode to. I do have some honorable mentions. I would say Bel Air is
Mm-hmm.
honorable mention. Well written. I liked the dramatic version of The Fresh Prince of Bel Air. The actors are very good, very believable. They look like a family. They
Mm-hmm.
did a very good job of casting all of them. Really, they look like they could be a family. So, those are my top 5 and my honorable mentions for 2025. We'll watch a lot of random shows. Like we just picked up one called Tracker, and I think that's on Hulu as well. And I think we're getting into that one pretty hot and heavy. It kind of reminds me of the Reacher type thing, but instead of it taking all season to find out what happened, everything is kind of resolved at the end of the show, but with one underlying thing all season, like who killed his dad. That's going on all season long, but then several things happen and
Yeah.
get resolved on every show except for that. So pretty good show. Up and coming in my roster of things to watch.
Well, you should watch All Her Fault then too on Peacock. That one is something you'll probably like too. But I will say, if I had to add one more, I just finished the Vince Staples show, and I like his first season really well. But I think second season was a little bit more reminiscent of Atlanta. It was a lot different than the first season, but I think it was really good and it had a good message. He's funny, he's hilarious in my opinion. So I think it's really cool. He has his own show, and I would
And now,
yeah, the last season was a bit crazy and out of the wood, but
John
it was
David
good.
Washington, the main character, John David Washington,
Mm-mm, no, Atlanta. I'm talking about is by Childish Gambino.
Childish Gambino. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
get them mixed up sometimes. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, I don't know why. John David Washington was the one in Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yes.
Okay, Childish
Wait,
Gambino.
no. Childish Gambino is the one in Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Well, I just
The
think
new,
Childish Gambino was John David.
yeah, the new remake. But John David Washington was in that movie with Robert Patterson. Was it called? Where like they're trying to figure out who killed all those people and they just reverse history. That was a good movie though, I will
I'm
say.
sorry, Childish Gambino.
He
I think I've
was
given you a whole nother identity.
he was also in the movie with Zendaya on Netflix where they're just arguing all day. Okay. And well, I'll just have to look it up. But he's decent in acting too. I think he's coming into his own on his
Childish
career.
Gambino.
No, John David Washington. Yeah, that's Denzel Washington's son. So
I know, but I
hmm
guess I don't know who he is.
and then Paul, his wife is the mom of Jax on Reasonable Doubt. Which I was surprised, but I didn't know that was her. But
Mm.
I knew she was an actress, but she looks different, like, outside of the show. Yeah, she does for real. You can actually her and Jax kinda resemble too, so I think that's pretty cool. But there's a good lot of good shows out there, and let us know what you have been watching and what was your best of 2025. And I want to go into best of 2025 movies. Sinners was one of my favorite movies this year. I really loved it. It was an original piece by Ryan Coogler, and I think it had a lot of deep messages. A lot of people are getting some of the things that he displayed misconstrued, but we're not going to go into what he was actually trying to say. However, I think it's something that everyone should watch. One that was underrated to me was F1. So that had Damon Idris and Brad Pitt in it. And I didn't think I would be into a racing movie, but the plot was great. And I think people should look into that one. I would actually watch it again because it was so good. And I think they acted well and had very good chemistry together. And then, of course, Wicked for Good. I love me some Ariana Grande. And I also really like Cynthia Erivo. They have beautiful voices. They blend so well. And I never watched the play, and I know it's one of those big Broadway musicals that's always getting really good um awards, and everyone is saying it's one of the best Broadway plays ever. But after watching the movie, I do feel like I should go back and maybe that should be my first Broadway show. So hopefully maybe this summer I can go to New York and check it out if it's on Broadway. But I'm not going during the winter, so yeah.
My top movie of this year, I have not seen it yet, but I know it will be my top movie. Next week, Avatar comes out,
Okay.
and I'm very excited about that. My husband and I followed that, and it's amazing how it had been so many years between the first Avatar and the second Avatar. And then the second and third is a little bit closer now that the audience is back re-engaged. So I'm glad
I
it
think
take them.
it's a
Yeah.
tech I think it's a technology thing because they said how long it takes to digitalize everything is why it took so long. But since AI has I probably speeded it up. I don't think it's about
I know.
yeah.
The goodness is Chloe Saldana still looks the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean she would be blue anyway and they could
Yeah.
probably
Make her look however they want to. But she still really does look the same as the first one.
mm-hmm.
But I am a big Avatar fan, and the message behind it reminds me of the storied past of Africa and the resources that are being held in Africa, and everyone wants to have trade routes there and strip Africa of its resources, and that kind of reminds me of what's going on with Pandora
Mm-hmm.
Avatar. But very good sci-fi movie. Got a lot of deep messages as well. Coming into their own, children coming of age, him having to make a decision to become a Navi. Is that yeah, become part of the Navi. So anyway, my favorite movie, or I think my best movie of 2025, I will watch prayerfully next week.
Yeah. I think I'll like that one too, but I still think Sinners took the cake for me.
I like Stars too.
Yeah, I don't think
I'm just an Avatar fan.
yeah. I don't think nothing would top it. But I will give Avatar a chance, and if it does change, then yeah, I'll let y'all know too. I'll say, hey, it did change to Avatar. But I will say the second movie was really good. I just hate the one of the kids had to die. Like that really blowed me. I was like, why they couldn't save him? But hey, it is what it is. So yeah. Finally, I got some of my best moments of 2025. I think number one, of course, was me going to St. Lucia. The trip started off terrible though, because I basically was late for my flight. The first time I've ever missed a flight. And then the lady tried to get me on standby, and my luggage made it to Atlanta, but I did not. So I had to buy a flight to Miami. Then it took me to St. Lucia. But when I got there, it was actually a beautiful country. I would love to go back. I try not to repeat countries before I've traveled other places, but I'm willing to make an exception for St. Lucia. I've also been to Jamaica twice and Mexico. So there are places, of course. Another one that I would make exceptions for is Costa Rica. That is really a beautiful country, and for some reason, I love their fried chicken. So I would love to go back and try that out. And then another great moment I think was when I went to Miami for my friend's birthday. We were in the North Miami area, and I've never been there. It's called like Hollandale Beach, and it was really nice. I just think that's a nice area to go to. So if you have not been, I would say check it out. Spending time with the family in Mississippi was another top moment, and then also trying these new thing where you could make your own perfume. So we did it for one of my friend's birthday, and then we also did it in Savannah, and that was really fun and something I would plug into all the people that are into different scents, like going to a scent house and making your own signature scent. So,
Right.
and and then this podcast, starting this podcast with mom has been fun, and you know, it's been a journey.
My top moment, I would say getting out of my comfort zone and being on a podcast.
Mhm.
It's been challenging for me. I'm not really good with social media and audiences and giving my opinion out loud to those I don't know. I don't mind giving my opinion to those I do know and who ask for it. If someone calls me and want advice, I'm all here for them and I love to talk and give them my take on things, but just offering it up unsolicited is very tough for me. Following trends is very tough for me, and remembering what I listen to is tough for me. Like I'm having fun when I'm doing it, but I don't hold on to it. I don't know who the actor is, who the singer is. Like I love songs, as you can see with me and Me Against the World and that album. Like I know all the songs, I don't know which album they came on. So I'm just not well versed into being well versed about much,
Mhm.
except for my job and
Yeah.
family. Like I do spend a lot of time being well versed and immersed in my work, and but nobody's talking about that on this, so I don't have a lot to say all the time. But I will say that being on a podcast probably is number one for me because this is interesting, it's new, and I did get to spend a lot of time with Brandy. I'm sorry if I couldn't loosen up and stop looking like the weather girl when I'm talking to y'all. I feel I guess the season progressed. I did loosen up a little bit. I look back at some of the older episodes and my shoulders are high and I'm leaning forward and I need to just relax and kind of let go and let it do what it do. But I have enjoyed it. We haven't got a lot of questions or anything like that, which is fine. But hopefully in the new season, we'll get some questions from our audience. And maybe that'll give me more to talk about when I'm answering your questions. But anyway, this has
Mm.
been probably the top for me. And then maybe secondary would be my husband's birthday in Aruba. That was fun. I got to spend some time on the beach with flamingos. Um, I'm a beach girl, as you heard in several episodes. So if I can find a nice beach with some pristine waters, I'm happy. I don't even have to get in them. I just need to be near them. And of course, Thanksgiving in Mississippi with family, and hopefully Christmas with family as well.
Mm. Oh, I was gonna. I got a couple more things. I also want to say best person that I met this year is probably my therapist, Dr. Wilkinson. A big shout out to him. I feel like he helped me a lot in a lot of different things that I've been wanting to work on and getting myself, healthy in mind, body, and spirit. So if I don't think he watches, and I have never told him that kind of podcast, but if he ever stumbles on to it, you have been one of the best people I met this year. And also moving back to Georgia was really good for me. And then finally, I do want to talk about some music and books that I read this year, and we're going to end it a little bit. But we would love to hear from you. What is your best of 2025? But I do the Apple Music rap, and my top artists are Drake, Lotto, Coco Jones, Leon Thomas, and who was number 5? I think it was between Glorilla and Megan Thee Stallion. So, as I've told you guys, I try to listen to a lot of female rap. And even though these people did not make my top 5, I think they do deserve a shout out. Mana Leo, she had a great year. Her music was very good. I started listening to Mellow Bucks because my homegirl Shay, she put me on from her playlist. Then also Dietrich Nada. I've been following her since she was on the rap game. Also, Fly J, I like her fly mixes that she does, and then I listen to some of her music. But Nada, she put out an album this year, and one of her songs that I really like, and it's on my playlist, is Where You Been At. And then another one, I can't remember the name, but it's really good and on my playlist too. So those are some of the musics that I've been listening to. Like Coco Jones, she had an amazing year, as I told y'all. I am listening to her a lot. I love her music. She was one of my top artists, and Leon Thomas, like with the R&B, love them too. I would have loved to listen to Maxwell live. But again, he canceled, and I'm not gonna stop talking about this because it really hurt my feelings. But I just gotta find a place he won't cancel. I guess Orlando is not good enough. I don't know. Maybe I should have went to Jacksonville like it started to. But those are some of the music that I listened to that I really liked. And then also, I'm in this book club with my friend Amber and her other friends. And we've been reading a lot of different good books, mostly romance novels. And there's this Skyland series by Kennedy Ryan. I think I already told you guys about um, the first book we read, and I'm drawing a blank at it. Before I Let Go. That one was really good. And then we also read the next book recently called This Could Be Us, and it follows one of her friends, Soledad, and a guy named Judah Cross. And this one, I will say it is a little bit better than the first one because the story is crazy. So if you are into books, just check that one out. And of course, we also read 7 Days in June, and that was really good. That was a beautiful love story too. So those are my best of everything for 2025. I don't think I have anything else to talk about, but those are all the things I would recommend for from 2025.
Going forward, two things that I would recommend, and I'm about to get into, is In My Opinion or IMO by Michelle Obama and her brother Craig Robinson. I just started listening to some of that, and so I really want to get into that. And hopefully, on my first listening to of the new season, I can talk a little bit about where I am with that podcast. I was listening to her take on leaders and as they age and get ready to retire, how there's really no place for them to go and there needs to be a place for them to kind of get out the way for new, brighter ideas, but still honor them for the wisdom that they have. And I feel that. I even feel that from a work standpoint. I don't mind retiring and getting out of the way for young, new leaders to come in with good ideas. But I don't need a place to go either. I'm good. But I do understand what she's saying when it comes to politics, because you have these career politicians that are in the Senate and the House forever, and they probably need to retire. But there needs to be a place where their voices are heard and respected as they move out the way for younger, newer ideas and more
Like
innovation.
a advisory council. And
So I did like her take on that. So I do want to start getting into In My Opinion by Michelle Obama and Craig Robertson. And then the other, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, Peter Malauk. He is a podcaster who talks about finances and money and investing. And so I want to get into that a little bit more. And hopefully in the new season, I could tell you a little bit more about that as well. Creative Planning, I think is the name of his company. He's the CEO of Creative Planning. And so I plan to get into that into the new year. And so hopefully when I do my listen to, I'll be able to tell you some tidbits from, in my opinion, and creative.
well, we hope the rest of your 2025 is beautiful and you make it to 2026. We hope everyone has a great holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you next time on season 2 of Listen, We Listen and We Judge.
Thank you for tuning in.